Hello, and you're listening to the BlinkCast Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Christian.
I'm also Christian.
And I'm Mustafa.
And this is the show.
Alright guys, so we have a lot of stuff to talk about today actually. We have a lot of stuff going on campus, we have a lot of stuff going on in the gaming industry. So what do you guys want to start with? Want to put some campus news out there?
Let's get the campus news out of the way.
Alright, get the campus news out of the way. So the major things that have been going on and are going on right now are one, we had the Black Light Dance that we've been promoting on the show for quite a while. Human vs. Zombies is going on over the weekend. And the Game Design Club has a new project that they might want to start depending on how people react to it. Alright, so Chris, I think you've been playing Zombie vs. Human, right?
I have. I am currently one of the zombies in this game. And pretty much what's different about this one is that pretty much I want to start off as a zombie this time instead of a human. And what's interesting is that you can be transformed between human and zombie pretty much instantaneously. Like, you can be cured and infected as many times as possible. I know Mustafa was a zombie at one point, and you've been cured, right?
Humanity will survive.
I'll take
I
that.
guess,
Yes.
yeah, that's a yes,
Yeah.
probably.
But yeah, it's pretty much almost done. Yeah. So.
The zombie apocalypse team wants you.
So yeah, there's this entire new system where they have cure darts and you have like talisman. We can buy stuff like immunity with it and stuff. It's quite different. I remember I haven't played this weekend because I was sick. But I remember the last game when it was a 2-week game actually. It was just straightforward a game of tag and that's it. So they added some kind of currency to it, or how's that work?
Yeah, with the new talisman program, you can buy a cure dart, which would allow you to transform a zombie into a human. You can buy immunity for an hour, which would allow you to not be tagged for an hour, but it goes away after if you get tagged. And then something for the zombies is you can actually collectively combine your talismans together to reduce your stun time timer. Like, we did that already and got it down to 4 minutes and 45 seconds instead of the standard 5 minutes at this point.
Alright, that's pretty cool. So that's going on over campus. I'm pretty sure it's also actually in the entire town of Madison, right? Which is where our college is.
Yeah,
So basically, if you're off campus, you aren't even safe. So
exactly.
that's the cool part about that. It's basically a game of tag, now with the currency over the entire town. Which is pretty
So
cool.
Mustafa could cure you right now.
If he had a cure dart with him, yes,
Mhm.
but I don't think you have any, do you?
Don't be too sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not
There
giving
may
you a
be
ride
some
back
violence
anymore.
going on in this podcast.
Just a little bit.
Alright, what else going on? Well, the Black Light Dance happened. That was on Wednesday. We didn't have as many people as we wished there would be, but DJ Core, who was kind of my friend, I was going to call him Jeff, I guess. He had a really awesome show. Like, he knew what the fuck he was doing. Like, he had his 2 turntables, had his setup and everything, you know. It was really cool. And actually, with a couple of friends of mine, we're going to go to Sioux Falls on March 1st and to see his show. It's called Laser Takedown in the Vault in Sioux Falls on March 1st. And, well, I guess it starts in the evening. Those parties don't really have a starting time usually. It's just you go whenever you feel like. And it's usually around, 10, 11 o'clock. So it's an 18 plus party. If you guys want to check it out, you should definitely chill with us. We're going to drive up to Sioux Falls and, yeah, hang out there. And the last big thing that's going on is in Game Design Club, we actually had a discussion that we might want to redo the Global Game Jam experience. So weekend after spring break, we're not sure which one yet. We are trying, if enough people would care, we tried to set up the East Hall again and do the same kind of thing that Global Game Jam did. Just we won't use it like as a global thing. It will only be on campus, People will make games and we'll have a great time and whatnot. So that's been in the plans. And we've been asking people about that. A couple of people showed interest and we'll keep asking and see how that goes.
Sounds pretty fun, actually. It's a little bit interesting to see that they're doing that outside of the standard event. So is there any idea what they're going to call it, or if there's going to be a competition?
Not really. It's just because the Game Design Club hasn't designed a lot of games yet, which basically what we did in the last couple of weeks. We had this project going on where we wanted to make a game called the Field Mouse and the Buffalo. That really didn't work because it was kind of a weird situation with the entire story implementing into the gameplay. So what we're trying to do is get actually people to design games, which is the entire point of the Game Design Club. So we want to start this off by doing the Game Jam because a lot of people liked it, a lot of people enjoyed it, and there would probably be a lot of people
Yeah.
joining it
I mean,
again.
that's where we all got together.
Exactly,
It was
that's
like
what I
Global
thought.
Game
Team Blink reunite and stuff like that.
Team Blink.
Definitely. All right, so that's been going on campus. That's basically it. We had the Black Lions, the Black Light Dance. We had the Global Game Jam thing, and yeah, Human vs Zombies. So yeah, I guess we can start moving towards the biggest topic on our show right now, which is here. Why don't you introduce?
That would definitely be the PS4 has been announced. There's a big Sony conference where they announced not only a PS4 but several games got announced, as well as various technology. It seemed like a lot of what they were focusing on was more the social aspect of their system than the actual horsepower of it, which is a little bit concerning. But at the same time, it's from the games we saw, it seems like it's pretty meaty. Assuming that they're 1080p, 60 frames a second, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if you think about what Facebook did over the last couple of years, right? I mean, I'm not sure if we had this discussion already, but Facebook revolutionized society. It's just a fact. That's how it is. You don't send an email to a friend anymore with a link on video. You send the video to your friend over Facebook.
In certain states, you're actually considered suspicious if you do not have a Facebook account.
Really?
Actually, yeah. If there's
not states. I
I know a couple
cities.
people who don't have a Facebook and are our age. If you don't have a Facebook account, you're just weird. You're left out because everything goes over Facebook. I mean, the Human vs. Zombie thing has a Facebook page, right?
Yeah.
We have a Facebook page, right? This is where we organize our group. We do it over Facebook. Let's imagine you would have a Facebook. You would have no idea when we meet. We would have to send you a text or whatever, and it would be weird and awkward. So I can totally understand why game
It'd be
developers...
weird and awkward to socialize with each other, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Talking face to face.
That'd be weird.
Socializing. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Exactly. Facebook.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, I have to watch this video again. I haven't watched it in a while. The black lady who says, "Anybody got time for that?"
Yeah.
It's so funny. She made a commercial for a dentist.
Seriously?
I'm dead serious. A dentist on the town came up to her and was like, "Hey, we should make a commercial." And it's pretty funny. Anyway, we're talking about social aspect. So I can totally understand why all those game designers and the people involved with the development want to be part of that. I mean, it's not bad. It shouldn't be a priority in my opinion, but it's not bad. I mean, Xbox Live is great.
It's not that I think it's a bad thing. I would have liked to hear they have released more technical specs now that the event's actually over, but I would have loved to hear more into detail. They have this thing called their enriched graphics processor. I would love to hear what that actually is, because that's kind of more of a marketing term than it is an actual technical term.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, I am not sure if that's true, but I heard that it will start at $600.
I don't think they have quite stated that yet.
Yeah, there was a rumor, but as you know, those rumors sometimes turn out to be true.
Yeah.
I am really hoping that's not the case with this one. $600 for a gaming console is stupid.
It
Why don't you
seems-
just get a PC instead? You can get an average gaming PC for $500.
Actually, if you want a really good PC with the software.
Well, we're talking about average.
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 You get like borderlines on medium settings.
We're not talking about Best Buy or something like that here.
No.
We're talking about
Newegg kind of stuff.
But then again, the average PC would become obsolete by the end of the year.
But
whereas the console would still be concurrent for at least 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 more years.
Yeah.
So it would be more cost efficient than a PC. PCs are master race, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, they are.
No.
Yeah, definitely consoles by far are more price efficient if you're looking at it that way. If you're just looking for something to purely game.
The games are more important. Expensive.
Games are more expensive on console, so I think owning a PC...
It basically equals out.
Yeah,
It
if you own a
really actually
PC
does.
long enough and you actually use it enough to justify it, I'd say definitely I would grab one of those. But
Yeah, exactly what you just said. I mean, you can use a PC for far more than actually gaming if you have a
Yeah.
console. I mean, now obviously consoles turn more into a social thing.
yeah,
But if you have a console,
Looks
all you
like-
do is socialize with your friends on a virtual world and play games. With a PC, you can make money.
Well, consoles are evolving though.
yeah. When you look at consoles now, actually, I'm seeing less and less like, hey, look at this new thing we added to the gameplay. I mean, really, the big thing they've added now is the controller's different.
Which actually, I don't like that much.
It doesn't bother me that much. I like the thumbsticks, how they
You know
look
what's
now.
really sad?
And
They stopped putting start and select on the buttons. They
Uh,
don't exist anymore. It's now share and pause, I think.
I'm
Or something like
Are you
that.
sure they don't still have start and
Nope,
select?
it's
Because
not
I know the
called
share
start.
and pause button aren't anywhere near the start and select buttons.
No,
The share
they
button's
don't
in
have
the
start and
top.
select anymore.
Huh. Well, anyways,
That's sad.
it's becoming more of a media system than anything because you have your Blu-ray player in it, DVD player, Netflix. It looks like they're trying to connect more and more to make this basically a home theater system rather than just a gaming console.
You have the Bing search engine in the Xbox and stuff like that. Yeah, I know what you're getting at. But you will never, as you said of right now, be able to achieve the same amount of productivity with a console you would with a PC.
Yeah, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying they're aiming more and more to make this a thing they're looking to do what smartphones are doing. Smartphones replace everything in your pocket with a phone. They're looking to replace everything in your living room with that console, so that this thing is just the must-buy.
It's not a bad thing. It's basically going to turn to the point where it's like in Star Wars, where you have one thing, and you do everything with that one thing. Which, like, you have a little thing on your arm, and you can do everything with it.
Hey, I'm waiting for that day. And if it's made by Google, I'd be even happier.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, dude, we didn't even talk about that yet. Google, my life, man. Google Glasses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I read into that a bit. How
that thing actually
it's a heads-up display for real life.
Yeah.
I saw an article online of a dude who was like prototyping that. It's really cool. It doesn't even look that stupid.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
Did you expect it to be stupid?
Yes, I expected it to be really silly, like the Vegeta thing with the over 9000 thing. It's like a gigantic, big ass computer you put inside of your screen, and your right ear slowly drops.
To be honest, when I heard it was from Google, I kind of expected they're not stupid. Google's pretty damn good at their marketing, at their business side.
That on Google Plus, right?
I can. Okay, Google Plus is a bad example there.
Yeah.
I don't know a single person who actually legitimately I'm updating my Google Plus page.
The thing is, though, if Facebook would just be, I mean, right now it's probably too late, but if Facebook wouldn't exist, Google Plus would have been a great thing.
Oh, yeah.
Google Plus is it's actually
just that
better. They offer way more and way less ads. The thing is, Facebook was first, and now everyone's on Facebook.
Yeah.
And try to convince everyone to go to another website.
Yeah, it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same reason World of Warcraft still exists. Try and convince all the people playing that there's something else out there and see how it works.
Don't even say it.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm saying something else.
When you've put in 6 years of your life and thousands
I
of
can
dollars
completely understand that. I put 6 years into WoW, but it got to the point where I was just bored. It's not that I hate the game. I think it's still a pretty fantastic game for what it is.
Oh, I saw this post the other day. It was like was a video game with Skyrim when it's like, after 150 hours and you did all the main quests and all the main side quests and there's nothing else to do, what else is there to do but slaughtering everyone? It's like, you either play long enough, you either die hero or you play long enough to.
I'm just pointing this out.
Become the hero.
It's 150 hours, and I would say that's a pretty long time of playing to beat everything in a game, considering an average game length is 6 to 15 hours.
I have 400 hours in Skyrim.
I have almost 300, and I have not done half of the quests in the world.
I know.
So I don't really think the number of quests should be a concern in Skyrim. There's plenty. You can't walk into a new city without getting pissed off because everyone and their mother needs help.
And because of how the Radiant quest mechanism works, you'll always get new quests.
Yeah. Anyways, always hunting quests.
Yeah. Anyways, back to
PS4.
To
the PlayStation 4, definitely. We're talking about the controller. I was really relieved, even though I don't give a shit about consoles generally. I was relieved that they actually have this thing where they will not block used games. It was a big thing for me.
Yeah, that was there was a lot. Yeah, I'm waiting on to see what Microsoft does because there is a lot of controversy surrounding what they're thinking.
If Sony does that, they cannot not do it.
Right. Well, since they already announced it.
Oh well, the new Sony console will allow you to play used games. Well, fuck you guys. If you want to play the new Xbox, you have to buy every single game by yourself, which is stupid because especially for the social aspect. What's greater about, you go to a friend for a sleepover and you bring your games and you play on their console?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the real socializing... Oh my god, man. I'm sick, anyway. The socializing should be about.
Yeah.
Playing with friends. And I see that they're trying to make it more of a virtual thing, or it's you meet in-game with a friend. But you can't forget that a big aspect of consoles is the multiplayer, but cooperative. You meet with a friend and you play a Call of Duty in your friend's room.
That being said, did you see some of the PS4's features in terms of you could be playing a game and your friend could actually be remotely watching you playing this game and talking to you and even take over the controller for you and help you out with cards? I think even that's they're trying to kind of simulate having your bud right next to you, even if he's hundreds of miles away.
Which is really good. I like that. It's not nothing that wasn't possible before, but
it's something we didn't have before.
Yeah. So I really like where they're going with that. It's just they prioritize it. Okay, what do you call that?
Prioritize.
They make it too important. Yes.
Yeah.
The most important thing at a gaming console should be gaming. And then when you have the perfect gameplay experience that you can put up with the console, then you add features like adding your friends into it and adding your friends list and your messaging and email, Facebook.
I think games, especially on the PlayStation 3, I think a lot of those games are really community driven. They have, what's it called? Have you seen? It's a racing game where you can make your own tracks. You can completely paint the whole entire track.
Forza.
No, I'm talking. This is like a cartoony racing game.
Was it
Hot
Little
Wheels?
Big Racers?
Little Big Racers.
Yeah.
And Little Big Planet. That showed huge. It shows that their focus on social is really helping them in those respects, as long as it's still a solid game. Like you said, they need to prioritize that.
Right.
Yeah, and I haven't played any of those games yet. I haven't played PlayStation forever. If the games are great, that's great with me. And if the social aspect works, it's great.
Well, essentially...
What I was really afraid of, and especially am with the Xbox, is that they prioritize way too much on the social aspect and will neglect other parts of the aspects.
I've just become so turned off of Microsoft as of recently with hearing that you'll always need the Kinect. And I guess you could also say the same thing about PS4. The PS4 also has a camera that's always on. Though they only spoke of it for several minutes at the conference. They really just kind of glazed right over it.
Well, I'm pretty sure we'll hear more about that later. I'm pretty sure now that they actually presented some of their stuff.
I kind of feel like this camera's not going to play a big role like the Kinect does. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a built-in eye toy, is what I'm thinking it's going to be. It won't be doing...
Great. We talked about that last time. Eye toy was great. It was a great game. Simple, straightforward.
I don't need facial recognition, all that stuff the Kinect offers. Really,
it's a freaking gaming console, man. Turn it on, play your game, boom, done, finished.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the whole joy of a console is you just pop something in and it just works. It happens. Speaking of which, the PS4 is supposed to have instant boot up. You put in your game, you turn on the console, and it's just immediately straight to the game.
Right.
And you can even when you can even put the system into low power mode, which allows you to instantly turn it back on, and it will start wherever you left off. Meaning, if you're just in the middle of a fight, you turn the thing off, power goes out, something like that, you could get it back on, and you would actually be able to just pick up right where you left off.
That's cool.
That's actually... No, wait, you said power off, like, if there's, like, a power out?
Okay, I assume...
Probably not.
Probably not, unless they have capacitors that store up the charge for a while.
That would be a lot of money, actually.
Yeah. Well, not really. It'd just be a small, short-time battery.
Yeah. Well,
like an UPS. Sure.
But that's how that doesn't work. Actually, on campus, power went out for, like, a minute at 1 o'clock in the morning or something.
Really?
It was weird. Yeah, it wasn't even, like, long enough. Like, it wasn't all the power plugs, but, like, the ones on the ceiling. Like, all the lights went out, and the power plugs connected to the ceiling ones, like, my screen for my PC turned off. But my PC is actually plugged in the bottom one, so my PC didn't turn off. It was really weird.
That is strange.
Also, water got really cold for, like, 5 minutes.
They could do a system like, you know that little box on the Xbox, right? On the Xbox cord?
Yeah.
That's actually just a little transformer box, and if the power goes out, as long as it's not out for more than 5-6 seconds, your Xbox actually won't shut off because that box basically delays the time it takes for power.
I don't think that's how it works. If you pull a plug on your Xbox, it'll go out instantaneously.
Then how come I've unplugged my Xbox? Maybe it's just on the newer ones because I've unplugged my Xbox and it's stayed on for several seconds.
That's how it works.
Mine does.
Mine does that too.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I think you just don't know what you're
Xbox
talking about.
And plug it in and out, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Didn't you have one of those old white Xboxes, Christian?
That's my roommate actually had the newer one.
Consoles can do a lot of weird things. Fun fact. On the GameCube, you can open up the disc tray and the game will still keep playing.
Oh yeah, that was a big thing at the recent consoles. You could just pull out the disc, and once the level was loaded, it was loaded.
Yeah.
You didn't need the disc anymore.
The biggest example that would be Animal Crossing. It literally loaded once, and you could play the entire game with that disc cover open, and it would never cause any problems.
That sounds really... I'm gonna buy the GameCube now.
I
buy everything.
Yeah, the only reason I know that is because the music messes up. Is the only difference. Is I guess it must need to read the disc every time. It needs to loop the music so it starts playing this creepy tune.
Yeah, that's not possible today, but that's not a big deal. I mean, who wants to play with
No, that's just a little fun fact. But anyways,
so what's another thing that they announced?
They announced several games. Did you guys want to talk about those games?
Sure, let's go on. I mean, I didn't know what games they're announcing.
I think that one of the big ones is the new Killzone game.
Killzone is supposed to be like one of those killer apps for the PS3. It was, but it never really picked up that much.
Well, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's still pretty good, but it wasn't the killer app they wanted it
Yeah,
to
my
be.
neighbor still plays the PlayStation 2 Killzone because the Killzone 3 literally was just a Call of Duty clone.
Oh.
It pretty much was. I mean, they had their own gameplay to it, but the multiplayer in modern FPS, they all kind of meld together. It's basically the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's leveling up, it's this and that, and there's...
well, even if they just add leveling up, they've already improved upon the formula of modern military shooter. Modern military shooters generally just have you running and gunning without any changes in gameplay.
Pretty much.
Well,
yeah.
Killzone is more like what's supposed to be the Halo for PS3, more story driven than basically gameplay driven, I guess.
Yeah.
I never played it. My neighbor played it. But I
And
never
once
actually
again,
know
that's
it too well.
fine. If you can do that really well, that's all right.
All right.
Yeah.
What other games did they announce?
They
there was
announced
some weird...
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that, and then there was some weird game where you play some kind of robot, and then there was another game where it's like the camera is part of it, and you have to play in a band or
A
something.
game with the little robot Knack, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, something like that, yes.
It's really interesting, actually. You could see the guy who's designing it is actually the one who he's like the architect designer for the system. So he's the one who decided what's going to, the processor, the GPU, all that kind of stuff, how the system's made up. And you can tell that he really knows his stuff about the system because all the things that are surrounding your little character, in case you don't know, Knack is a game about where you suck in objects to become bigger, and these objects just kind of float around you and form your body. And when you disperse those objects, they all fall on the ground, and each of them are a physical object in the world, meaning they all have physics. They all roll around on the floor. So that's definitely demonstrating they can handle a lot more rigid bodies than the old systems ever could.
I saw that one scene when I go to YouTube because of my cookie, because I'm a gamer, right? So my cookies in my Google history will be like gaming related stuff.
Yeah.
So I basically, every time I look at a YouTube video that has ads in it, I get the PlayStation 4 ad. And it starts out with this scene where it's like this town, like this medieval town type of thing. And they drop like 1,000 blue balls or something. And it shows off how each ball has like its own physics. I don't know if that's like a big thing.
It's huge.
I mean, but it seems really great. Like a lot of physics in games are either messed up or like really bad.
Well, a lot of consoles, the problem is their CPU was single core or dual core at most. So that, since the CPU is mainly used for physics, that became a big problem when they wanted to have a lot of ragdolls. You've seen it more and more in games where you'll kill a body and it'll disappear after a while. Because it can't handle too many ragdolls on the screen at once.
Right.
Yeah, it's like in Skyrim when you first start out someone, they lose their regular like walking pattern and they're just like puppets flying around and just
that's
weirdly moving their arms and all their
That's what ragdoll physics is.
Yeah, that's the physics system. That's, I'm guessing, a little bit uses too much part of the processors.
Yeah,
to be
well, all
implemented in
games
modern
generally use the same physics system. They use Havoc is generally what all engines are basically built in with.
Yeah.
And it just uses a lot of CPU, and there's not a lot that can be done about that unless Havoc's going to be getting some competition anytime soon, but we haven't seen that.
Yeah, pretty much. So, what else was there that's like, they didn't actually show the PlayStation 4. They did not show what the console looks
right.
like.
No,
They showed the camera.
They showed the controller.
The controller, yeah. And that's all they did. So, here's the thing. Does it even matter? Because at the end, it'll be a box with a CD tray.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm guessing it'll look similar
Maybe
to...
some people are concerned about the aesthetics, but that's not a big issue.
I'm thinking it's going to look similar to what we've seen. I mean, we saw the PlayStation 1, then we saw the PlayStation 2, and it was very similar to the PlayStation 1, except it was a little thinner. Well, at least the thin version of it obviously was. Then the PS3 was basically the... They did reinvent the PS3 a little bit, I'll give them that. It was just a bulky PS2 with the disc drive in front instead of top loading.
Definitely.
So I'm guessing the PS4 is going to be similar to the PS3 with the front disc loader.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing they're going to come out with a slim version soon enough.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The only reason
they'll come with a
the only reason they did that with the PS3 is because the price was so high. This is why I'm really hoping they learned from their mistakes last time. It was $600 and they had a lot of problems with that, so they removed the SIM chip in there, which allowed for PS2 backwards compatibility, and called it the Slim version.
Which was kind of sad though, because
And
Yeah, definitely.
it was
PS2
sad, but at the
was
same
But then
time,
again-
it knocked $300 off the price.
Then again,
I mean,
therefore, they released a lot of PlayStation 2 games, like a series like Ratchet and Clank on one disc in HD. So that's something
Yeah.
you gotta think about.
and
too.
also you can tell that though it may not have backwards compatibility, it does have streaming of PS3 games built into the system. That's the whole reason they purchased this streaming company. So that basically you can't stick a disc in and it'll work, but you can still play your PS3 games on this machine. How you do that has not been revealed yet, though.
It's still a Blu-ray disc, though, right?
No, you do not have a physical copy of this thing.
Oh, all right.
It is not backwards compatible. You can't stick a disc in; it won't work.
Well, that's interesting.
That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be cheaper than $600 just because of that. You can tell they're definitely taking precautions to lower the price by not trying to have it be backwards compatible. The dangerous part is a lot of people don't want to buy a new system if it won't take their old games, because a lot of people like to just trade in their old system and get the new one, and that's why a lot of systems have backwards compatibility with the previous one to help teething problems basically with the new system.
Like the Nintendo Wii, for a lot of people, just turned into a GameCube.
A GameCube with several Wii games attached to it.
Yeah. Yeah, the Wii U was a complete flop, wasn't it?
It's still up in the air right now. We're waiting for Nintendo to bring out some of their first-party titles,
Right.
Zelda, Mario. Those tend to be selling a ton of systems. I mean, the Wii was actually the most selling system,
of all time.
The Wii, or the Wii U.
the Wii. So we're and the Wii started off good
No, I'm
because
talking
it
about
had
the Wii U,
motion.
though.
Yeah.
I know, but this
the
is the
Wii,
same
yeah.
company. This is what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
So the Wii did have a big start, but it became huge when Zelda and Mario and those came
Okay,
out.
so you're saying we need
So
the key
when the Wii U
games to
comes
use the
out,
full potential.
It didn't quite have as much steam, but as soon as
Yeah.
it gets those quote-unquote killer apps,
Right.
Right, yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah, you definitely need the games that use the full potential, which are usually
Yeah.
the games made by Nintendo.
That
not the
and
third-party games.
if you've
that
seen
you
any of the
sell.
games from there, seeing that Nintendo level of polish and HD, it really shows that this system is powerful enough to, I wouldn't say contend with this PS4, but I have a feeling they're going to come in last in terms of graphics. But Nintendo have always, other than I believe the GameCube and the GameCube and N64 came out. Did the N64 come out in graphics? I know the GameCube did, but
I don't think so.
no.
N64
So,
was
but yeah,
cartridge and GameCube was CD, so
Yeah.
that's a big difference there.
Maybe they got scared away by the GameCube when the
Yeah.
GameCube, actually, a lot of people don't know that was the most powerful system of that generation. People just didn't know how to quite go to its full potential because no one wanted to develop games for it.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember when I watched on TV this first guy who got the GameCube with this one store in Germany, and it was like signed by all the staff, and he was like a 20-year-old guy, and it was like a huge crowd. I mean, I remember the GameCube launching. That was
Yeah.
good times. I mean, it's not the same nowadays anymore. It's with the entire social aspect. There's all those rumors,
Yeah.
and it's all a business thing and whatnot.
You tend to see that a lot more as the more the gaming industry becomes a mainstream thing, is that it starts to get more of the limelight. They stop appealing to that niche market and start going into the social aspect to try and draw
Definitely.
everyone in.
I mean, that's what you gotta remember when they have those conferences and stuff, or those press, announcements, and you ask yourself as a gamer, well, I want to sit down, take the controller in my hand, press the power button, and play whatever, Uncharted 59 or something, in HD graphics, just have fun. And you wonder, why do they implement all those weird,
It's-
Dance Revolution things?
Those things sell.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta remember, gaming is now a mainstream thing, and it's not that nerdy, weird thing anymore like it was 10 years
That
ago.
the guys do in their basements, their mom's basement. It's a big
It's a
thing
mainstream
now.
thing.
Yeah.
Everyone does it. Even the hot, slutty girls from college, with the blonde hair and the 2-point GPA who get wasted every weekend, even those, they play Dance Revolution with their friends all the time. And that's why they have those weird social aspects.
Very good stereotyping there.
Yeah.
I'm being observative here. This is just how it is.
So,
Let's
what
give
you're
a
saying
fact.
2.0 is
think-
pretty generous.
Yeah, I was generous. And the thing is that more people are involved that we gamers will like. Let's say it like this, like we want the gaming experience. We want
Yeah.
to be in this world of action and stuff that you cannot do in real life.
Right.
But there's this entire group that we don't even care about because we are usually not the guys
It's
who
usually referred to as the casuals nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, but see, we wouldn't get all together on a Saturday night and to meet at your place and play Dance Dance Revolution or Raving Rabbits.
we meet to
We'd probably
play
set up for a LAN party and play like
probably
Call of Duty or
Borderlands or something like that. You know, that'd be a great
Battlefield.
example. Everyone gets together and plays,
Borderlands
just runs
or
around
something like
shooting
that.
things.
Yeah, and those casuals don't do that, but they are a market because what's more fun, for the 40-year-old girlfriends that are all single in New York to get together and play Dance Dance Revolution in their room?
Well, look at the Android and the iPhone. The tons of apps on there. Angry Birds is the biggest example. That just blew up. I mean, you can find T-shirts and everything of Angry Birds. There's more T-shirts of Angry Birds than I know of any mainstream game, except maybe Halo or something.
No, I'm actually sure there's more T-shirts by now. Because Halo didn't get... Here's the thing, Halo was already famous, and Angry Birds used those shirts to make itself famous.
I don't think they used the shirts to make that. I think they started selling shirts because they were famous.
Yeah.
No, it was actually the other way around. For my Game 101 class, I was reading an article online, and basically, it was pretty famous already, but they made it like a well-known thing. Like,
oh yeah,
they didn't release the shirts
pop culture icon.
and the entire
Basically.
teddy bears of the little birds. They didn't release that because the game was popular.
Yeah.
They released that so people would recognize
when
it.
a developer hears the word mobile, I shouldn't say Android. I should just say mobile gaming.
Yeah.
Their first thought is going to be Angry Birds, because it's just a big killer app that sold
They made it well known
games
by wearing shirts. Everyone who's wearing a shirt is advertising for that game.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're off that topic. And so what I'm saying is this casual stuff sells. Angry Birds blew up. It's making more money than some of our hardcore
AAA games.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So
yeah, so there's that. What else did they we show on the conference? I remember that they showed off the entire graphics processor by the 30,000 polygons.
Yeah.
I don't know if we actually had this conversation before or not, but they showed off this face of this old man, and they were showing all those facial expressions on a black background.
it was really impressive.
It was really impressive, but here's the thing. You could do that on the Xbox or the PlayStation 3. You could do that if it was only one face, one object on a black background. You could already do that. What I want to see, I want to see the full body of that guy in a 3D environment.
You want to see the
that
full
would be
body of an
impressive.
old guy?
Oh,
Yes. No,
Well-
but what I'm saying is, characters nowadays in video games
Violence has
have,
started.
let's say, 6,000, maybe 10,000 polygons. Maybe. I mean, it looks always a little bit more of the textures and the light effects, but it's about, let's just say 8,000 for now, right? 8,000 polygons. And this face that they showed off had 30,000. Oh, by the way, polygons would be one triangle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which would be
That's pretty common
a little
knowledge.
surface that's used to create 3D
Yeah.
objects with
Every
surfaces.
object you see in 3D,
And the
even
more
round,
detail you
is made
have,
of
the
triangles.
more of those minimal triangles you have for the object.
Yeah.
So the higher the number, the more detail it would have. So here's the thing. It looked really great.
Honestly, when they first brought it up, I thought it was a picture of a face until it started moving, and you could kind of tell it wasn't real when it started moving.
Oh, no,
But
definitely.
it was, if you just
But
got a
it is
photo of this
impressive.
thing.
But here's the thing. Unless all their games in the future are going to start like Half-Life 2 with the G-Man in the front and nothing else, I mean, it's not going to be that great of a thing, because what's the point of having so much detail if there's nothing else to it? If that will be, let's say, Skyrim, and every character will be like that face, that would be
Well,
fucking
here's the-
amazing.
yeah,
I would
here's-
blow myself away just to get that console.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing. The guy who's making this is actually a pretty famous legend in the gaming industry. And I don't think he'd be investing this much time into it if he didn't think that there was some potential payoff there that he could go for. I think that this was more than a tech demo. I think he's looking to make something with this.
All right, see that's what I'm saying though is I like that. I like that they try to get way more detail, but I want to see it in action.
Yeah.
Everyone could,
mean-
after a couple of weeks with 3ds Max or some sculpting program, maybe Maya or something, could get a nice detailed, maybe not good looking, but detailed 3D object.
The difference is those programs are animation programs that you just mentioned.
No.
3D Max?
3ds Max and Maya are sculpting programs.
Oh, I'm sorry. Either way, they don't have to render this thing in real time constantly at 60 frames a second while it's moving. These programs are made to create scenes with that. Correct? I've never actually used this before, but I've heard
You
of
can
it.
animate with 3ds Max.
Yeah, but it creates an animated video file, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking.
Whereas this isn't a cutscene. This is all rendered. This you could pan around this thing and zoom in, zoom out. It was a game, essentially. It was interactive.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think we're kind of talking away from each other. That was great. I like what I saw, but everyone can do that. Make like a render of one face with a couple of facial expressions, lifting the eyebrow and stuff. I want to see that in an actual game, because if you have 5 people in like a little village or whatnot in some kind of game setting, and you walk through that with your character, it seems for me impossible right now that every one of those 5 characters that you can look at has a face with 30,000 polygons on it.
I wouldn't doubt it. Have you heard of Star Citizen?
I did actually.
Each and every character in there has 100,000 polygons.
That is bullshit.
It is not bullshit at all. They've released pictures of it already. They've released 3D rendered models of it already. It's real. I've seen it.
And they're all animated in real time?
Yeah. 100,000 polygons. It is, I will admit, the biggest polygon count I've ever seen. But the thing is this guy was talking about 30,000 polygons on the face alone. This 100,000 polygons is an entire character. So I'm interested, like you said, to see the rest of this guy. I want to know if this thing's going to be even above what Star Citizens is doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's cool, again, to see the face, but I want to see it in like an actual thing with the body fully animated in like a dialogue scene or something. Because you got to remember, in games right now, like I said, we have maybe 8,000 polygons. It already looks like if you combine it, compare it to Crysis 3, it already looks really good on high settings. At some point, you just cannot get any better. At some point, you really need
That I completely call bullshit on. You can always get better.
Christian, you look at that old guy's full body shot, don't you?
Oh, God,
Yeah, Mustafa. No, what I'm saying is, for the casual gamer on a TV screen, at some point we reach that amount of detail where there could be so much detail that it would just be lost. You don't need to know every single pimple or skin cell on an old male dude's face.
Are you going to not want that there? I would personally love to see that there.
If
I
it's
noticed that
implementing my gameplay, because I don't want to spend most of my gameplay time looking at people's faces and figuring out how many particles in their eye are actually white blood cells. I don't care about that. I want it to look good, but I don't want that to be the priority. I like
For
good
instance,
graphics, but it should not
If
get in the way of the
they
gameplay experience.
can manage to make everything look like this guy's face, I would not have
Oh,
a
no,
single
I would
complaint
be
with it.
Greatly
That
into
was damn impressive.
That would be great, but I'm questioning if that's possible, and I really have to check out this Star Citizen thing because it's probably not made on a console. It's probably PC.
Oh no, this is PC.
Definitely.
Star Citizens is not coming to console.
You can
ever.
make your PC as powerful as you have money. You can make 50 graphic cards and hook them up together. You could do that.
No, you can't. 4 is the max.
Are you serious? I saw like 6 or 7 of them.
4 is the with modern.
I mean, obviously not in the normal standard way, but
yeah, I'm talking for that you can own. Star Citizen isn't being made for supercomputers. It's being made for gaming PCs.
Yeah. So the thing is, then we're talking again about the comparison between consoles and PC. Can you get the same power in a little box that you put in your living room than a gigantic box that's in your business room?
And this brings me to another topic, actually. What I'm most excited for about the PS4 is the fact that PC graphics are going to improve because the PS4 is powerful. If they can make that kind of face on a PS4, I'd love to see it implemented on a PC because it'll run faster and we can have more of them.
Definitely.
It just shows off what we can look forward to in the future in terms of our console. Once they really master down how to code for this thing like they have for the current generation consoles, I have a feeling they're going to be pulling some amazing things out of it.
No doubt.
Definitely. Alright, so what else did you guys care about that announcement? I mean, that's obviously all the topics.
Did you guys see the presentation by Media Molecule?
Which one was that?
They're the creators of Little Big Planet. They're the ones who used the PlayStation Move to create sculptures and perform a marionette puppet show.
Not sure, I don't think so.
It was... I wouldn't say it's practical for gameplay standards, or for gameplay use, but I would definitely say it's really interesting to see where they're going with this, Basically, they were able to create an entire 3D level using nothing but the PlayStation Move. You basically go around and literally sculpt things with your hands. You etch things out of wood, out of clay, in a virtual world. And they even demonstrated a marionette puppet show using nothing but the PlayStation Move. They could make 6 different people control 6 different puppets, and they could all dance and interact with each other, and they ended up throwing on a rock concert that kind of stunned everyone. I'm not going to lie, it was pretty stunning. I would definitely check that out on YouTube.
I didn't see that.
And it was so interesting because he literally, all he did is move the PlayStation Move left and right, and he was able to make the entire puppet move that way. And I'm not sure how that's going to control. And this brings up a big question. Is this going to be used in gaming? I mean, that doesn't seem like I could see a lot of use for it in a game.
Well,
but Media Molecule's crazy. They made Little Big Planet. They're crazy.
Yeah, they are.
They could come up with something inventive and creative with that. I have a feeling.
You gotta remember, though, when Xbox Connect first came out, their first tech demo on one of their conferences, it wasn't even called Connect, it was called...
Project Natal.
Yeah,
Natal,
exactly,
yeah.
Natal.
I liked that better.
Yeah, it sounded kind of cool, and they had this entire thing where they showed off this weird thing where they would paint a picture of an elephant.
Yeah.
That didn't actually become a real game.
No, well, same with, I believe, was it called Project Eden? Something like
Not
that?
sure.
I forget what it was called. It was basically where you interact with this little virtual child. You draw a picture with him, you go fishing with him, and you
That
could...
sounds creepy, man.
And you
What was
could
that for?
connect.
Oh, okay.
The exact thing we're talking about. It was premiered as this big... Because you could talk to him, actually, and he'd respond, and you could take a piece of paper and hold it up to Connect, and it would give it to him. He would grab it, and your picture that you drew would actually be there in-game now.
Seriously?
And it was quite the experiment because they would put random people in here and say the boy would throw goggles at them. The natural human reaction of people, on average, was actually to reach up and grab them even though there was nothing there. I mean, it was just more of an experiment in seeing exactly
a way
what
to show
interactivity we could have with
Exactly,
Kinect.
yeah.
I'm just sad we never saw that. I would have loved to try something
That's
like
exactly
that.
what I'm saying. They were trying to show the power of their actual hardware, which we might not get to see. It's like showing a car off, you know? You can drive this car at, 200 miles per hour in 10 seconds, right? But you will probably be never able to use that on a normal highway.
Yeah.
So you have that awesome car in your garage, but you can never use its full potential.
Right.
Unless you have access to a racetrack, which no
That's-
one does. So
It's a great way to describe a few things in life, actually.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is I love how those new consoles have the full potential, but to actually use it all would either require a lot of development or experimenting and working on with the entire developers, or a lot of money.
Yeah.
Both
From what
are
we've
really hard to get.
From what we've seen from the games, though, now this is assuming, I'm hoping that they aren't going with 720p like they did last generation. I'm hoping they're finally pushing that big move to 1080p, full screen, no downscaling or upscaling involved, 60 frames a second. I'm really hoping they're moving towards that, because otherwise they have nowhere to move down from. Current generation consoles started at 1080p. Then they moved down to 720, and now they're even lower than that with most games, and it just uses upscaling to make the resolution bigger without actually having to render more. And then they lower down the frame rate from 60 to 30. I'm really hoping that they're starting with something really high so that they have somewhere to go from here, so that we're not seeing things get even lower than 480p.
Definitely. I mean, the current consoles are pushed way beyond their limit.
Way.
I mean, I got Trials Evolution a while ago, and I mean, you guys probably heard of the game. It's a really simple game. You have a motorcycle and a track. It's a 3D game, but you play on a 2D environment. So, it would take 5 seconds for the entire textures to load, which is not that great. It's not a good sign at all.
Yeah, you can see a lot of that in consoles. You can see the FOVs getting lower. For those of you who don't know, FOV is field of view. It's how much you can see on screen at a given time.
Definitely.
I think
And gun models in shooters are getting bigger, because the bigger the gun model is, the more that's hidden behind it that the game doesn't have to draw.
Exactly.
Right.
So you can definitely see a push with that.
Yeah, I think the FOV issue is most apparent in big, more open-scale explorable RPGs like Skyrim, I think.
Yeah,
That's
Skyrim
bizarre.
does have a very small default FOV. I believe it's 65.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
that's
most
way-
noticeable in consoles because
Yeah.
I remember like I
I
started
believe, what was it? It had a really, really low one. Modern Warfare 3, I think it was. It had a FOV of 55,
Whoa, okay,
which
that's
actually
insane.
caused a lot of people, apparently, to get sick from
Yeah,
playing because it just
I
constricts your
remember
view.
some people on YouTube actually. I think that's what you're talking about. Who complained about that? They
Yeah.
could not play the game.
They
cannot do
they
it.
did. They patched it, though. That's good of them, but they only raised it like 5. I mean... I think that to become borderline playable, 65 would be the bare minimum, and even then, it's still a bit low.
I mean, that's what a lot of PC games have or should have nowadays. A slider.
It's an FOV sliders, like you said.
Definitely, it's
And,
a great thing.
you know-
It's really good. Obviously, the more the field of view, the higher it gets, the more the screen is gonna be tear a little bit. You know, like
screen
it was-
tear.
yeah, screen tearing. But
it
not
wouldn't-
necessarily. Like it really depends.
Are you
on how-
talking about clipping?
No, I'm talking about when you have it's kind of the Quake thing. The picture when you zoom like all the
You're
way
talking
out.
about distortion, because screen
Yes,
tearing
exactly.
causes a line to move down across the screen.
Yeah,
when
no,
it's torn.
I'm talking about the distortion. Yeah, in Chivalry.
Yeah, that kind
if
of
you
fisheye
yeah
type thing going on.
If you have the highest field of view settings in Chivalry,
Yeah.
you can literally your weapons are tiny, and
Yeah,
the
it's because
rest
they're
is,
so far away and you can
exactly.
see your whole arm, which is cool. I think that's cool, but at the same time,
It's too much.
it
But
it tends to clip through your
that's
arm.
what I would like to see in consoles is that there's an option for it.
Yeah,
So
that is true.
that would be more customizable, and also for people who actually use their console as a PC, so they have their screen right in front of their eyes while their console is on desk. It would be better for their eyes, obviously. Like you cannot compare it sitting on a couch with your TV at the other side of the living room, and then sitting on a desk with the screen right in front of you.
Well, would you rather have a game that has lots of details in a close range? For example, I'm sitting here, I can see this chair is awfully detailed, and I can see every pixel.
Real life
of this
has great
cup.
graphics.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys
but-
have ever tried that game.
Yeah, but if I
Not
try
anyway.
looking forward, I can't see that TV screen. Like, you know what I'm saying, right? That's what I get
Well,
out
the
of
problem
games.
is the natural field of view of a human could never be replicated on a
No,
screen.
but still.
You would need a screen that literally goes all around you to do that,
Mhm.
because the natural FOV of a human is above 180. You can see things that are slightly behind your eyes back here.
You can recognize them. You can't
Yeah,
see them.
well, you can't see them, but you can if you put your hands slightly behind your head, you can still see them moving.
Right here. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
it's
it's
and that's
basically-
Well,
it's
more of a
it's just
on
a little
five
bit-
senses.
70 maybe.
it's 180 would be directly out this way, and I can go farther back than that.
You have weird eyes, man.
No, I can see my eyes. They're way behind my head.
Alright, so put your
Yeah.
hand on the level of your
This is
nose,
a BlinkCast podcast experiment.
and then
Yeah.
move slightly back to the part where you cannot see your hands anymore. That's about the field of view. And then if you close them in front of your eyes and see, that's about
This-
half a
is
circle.
where
So
I
what?
can't
Okay, I
see
guess
it.
180.
So,
And
right-
then you
right
stand
here.
up and you shuffle your legs. That's the BlinkCast dance.
Yeah, that's the BlinkCast dance.
We
But
should do that now.
anyways, I had another thing to talk about here.
Let's go.
One thing that they were really pushing was more of a digital setting than putting in a disc, because they have
So downloading games.
downloading
Yeah.
games. Yeah, I've noticed that's become more of a trend, and I'm very happy it is. But at the same time, that
Keep the
means
option.
that they're keeping the option of physical disc, which is good. I think that should always be an option until we really get to the point where internet connection's fast enough and everyone has it.
Right.
But I mean, they're doing things like, say you want to purchase a game. You hit that button to purchase it, and as soon as you're done, you can play it without downloading it. It streams it to your machine while you're downloading it, and then when it's finished downloading, then you play the actual game that's on your system.
Yeah, but then again, having something only available online isn't a very good idea.
That's what
Right.
Steam is.
Yeah, but
That's what-
basically, like I play Skyrim on the Xbox 360, right? And I want to play Dragonborn, but because of some problem with the school's network, I can't connect to live.
Well, that's always, but that's the thing. It's streaming it on your system, and you're downloading it. And when it's done downloading it, then you can play it. If
And
didn't
you have to realize, like, all gamers don't live in America. Like, I'm from Bangladesh. Our average internet speed is probably 64 kilobytes per
Right.
second.
But that's why they're
So-
leaving the option open for discs. And we're talking, if
Yeah.
you were going to download a game in the first place, you'd need internet anyways.
Yeah.
So Just having it
but
streamed
making
to
it
you.
only available online would be, well, maybe you can obviously have an online component to it.
Yeah,
But I've seen games
like the PlayStation Network store.
yeah, like I've seen few games. You buy the disc, you install the disc, but even after that, you have to download like the entire game again.
Or
Just
like
to
a
play it.
patch or something.
Yeah,
Well,
like
not
a-
like basically the entire game. I don't know how that works even, but that's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember Battlefield 3 being like that, where you would
Never
install
played.
the game on the console, and then it would require you to actually download an HD texture pack for the multiplayer. It was something like that. I'm not sure. It was about a year and a half ago, but it was something like that.
I can kind of see why they would need that. It depends on how their server's set up.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I know what Mustafa was getting at. We're in America right now, and most of our listeners probably are in America or let's say Europe, where gaming is a standard thing, and so is first world countries basically. I mean that sounds harsh, but that's kind of what it is in internet terms. If you think about Mexico, or people in Africa, or Russia, there's still tons of people who play
Russia?
games.
Yeah.
They have a terrible internet connection. If you play like League of Legends or something, and you see someone with a high ping, you instantly can tell that they're not from a country with good internet connection. If there's someone on League of Legends with a ping of 400 and above, you most likely can assume that they're Mexicans. Or have
That's the
somehow
most
a computer.
racist thing that's ever been said on
No,
this
it's-
podcast.
BlinkCast does not condone racism.
This
Except
is
for the
him
American
alone.
flag
This is
here.
Christian alone.
No,
over
this
here.
is an observation. It's just the fact that the internet connections available in those countries aren't as
Yeah.
good as we
on
have.
the same token, the U.S. compared to a average country has low internet speed.
But for our purposes,
An
it's-
average Western country.
No, just for an average country. Period.
I
I
mean,
mean, look
the
at
internet
Sweden.
connection
Look at
is-
Australia.
Yeah, but
They're-
then look at Africa with their average 0.5 kbps. Look at Bangladesh with their average of 120 kbps.
like I said, on average. Meaning
And that is
we're not-
nowhere near average. On average, you're pretty fast.
I'm bringing
Right.
Europe's pretty high, and then second place will be
Europe's
America.
higher than us.
No.
Yeah.
You don't understand. We
Oh,
have
not
what 2 megabytes per second is like standard here.
here. At least in DSU, we have
in-
really
in
fast
Madison?
internet.
In the city, in the middle of nowhere in America, 2 megabytes per second. That's insane.
Yeah.
That is insane.
But
And you
I'm
cannot compare this to someone who has to download a 1.2 gigabyte file for an HD patch and lives in South America. It will
I'm
take them days.
just bringing up. I'm talking about on a global scale. On average, you're talking about just specific countries.
I'm talking about the internet connection that those consoles require if they want to stream games
Yeah.
while you play them.
And that's why I'm saying that we still need those physical discs.
Yeah,
we're not ready
definitely
for
need the
we're not ready
physical
for
discs.
all digital yet.
Yes, we are not even
Exactly.
close to
But
that.
I
However-
guarantee you that is where they're moving, and you want to know why?
Oh yeah, most
You know how
likely.
you stop those used game sales? You sell them a product that they cannot return.
True.
That actually was a big thing on Steam right now. Some company in Germany sued Valve because you're not able to resell games on Steam because you bought them as a digital copy. You cannot sell
But-
something digital.
The way Valve gets around that is they're not selling you games; they're selling you a license to play.
Exactly.
Actually, if Steam finds you violated one of their rules and they decide to close your account, you lose all your games because they take back all those licenses.
And that's exactly what this company doesn't understand, and I'm pretty sure that they're gonna lose this lawsuit. I mean, the German company.
Yeah.
However, I did see that you can sell Dota 2 keys or something like that.
And you shouldn't be able to. That's illegal.
Something
That's
like
not your
that.
product.
Maybe it wasn't a website, but the average price
Maybe
for Dota 2 key...
unofficially, because you get
Yeah,
a
no,
shit
it was
ton
from
of-
some third-party website, but the average price for Dota 2 key is by 0.2 cents.
Yeah,
So-
well, that's probably because for everyone and their mother has like 100 beta keys for it. I didn't know I had a beta key for it. I looked on Steam and apparently I own Dota 2. It's like trying to sell sand in a desert. It's
Yeah, pretty much.
But if
If
you
you-
put that sand in a shiny package and put in a file of manual and some nice wrapping paper, you
Yeah.
could probably sell
That's
it.
how they sell a lot of
Yeah.
shitty games.
Like
these days.
that's how they sell bottled water. It's basically the same thing you get when you turn your tap on.
Sometimes actually the tap water is better.
I like the tap water better because it has taste, but that's completely off topic.
Yes.
Let's talk about water and food, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Dude, how are those Reese's? How are those?
They're great.
Oh.
They're really making me thirsty though. Like I don't even know. They're really salty somehow. All right, back to gaming. So let's see. We talked about the PlayStation 4 announcement, which is obviously a really big topic. We haven't heard close to nothing, in my opinion. Actual legitimate news from Microsoft.
No, we haven't at all. All there's been is rumors. And so far as rumors go, we haven't heard a lot good about it. A lot of what we heard is no used games, is it's going to require always-on internet.
Yeah,
have
some
you
of
guys-
those actually sound like someone's trying to smear Microsoft.
On the same hand, I could see Microsoft doing it. Is the
Yeah, I
sad
can see
thing.
them doing that, but we probably shouldn't believe everything we hear.
Oh no,
and see.
I think they'd be really stupid if they did. But if someone could pull it off, I think Microsoft would be able to pull it off just
Well-
because their console is so massively successful right now.
One thing that we gotta think about though is we all heard about Destiny, the new game that's
The
come.
new Bungie game.
Yeah.
I think did we talk about that last week?
No, we didn't.
No.
All right, well let's talk about that later if at all. It's basically a new game that's made by the Bungie studio.
Yeah.
And one thing that they were announcing is it's not an exclusive title.
Exactly.
It is
Especially
actually
on-
it is not. It is PlayStation 3 and Xbox.
I mean, PlayStation 4.
Not PlayStation 3.
4.
It's for
Well,
both actually. It's for both
yeah.
generations. So it's gonna be available for 360 and PlayStation 3, but also for the 4 and whatever they're gonna call it in the Xbox.
And
Xbox
then
Which-
it's for the
362.
PC also.
Which they're actually probably gonna call Xbox Infinity or something.
I heard 720. I personally like the name Xbox 362
Why?
That's
because it sounds really stupid. It'd be like naming something Star Fox 64 2.
You mean like Final Fantasy X-2?
Yeah, it'd be stupid like that.
Well,
Final
I
Fantasy
understand that on a-
13-2.
But
But-
actually, I can imagine them calling it Xbox Infinity. I mean, the rumor comes from the trailer of the Destiny, first reveal trailer, where you saw those developers talking about the game, and this one developer had a website open, and it was like the logo on it, and you could see it on the screen. So I can picture that, but
Yeah.
the reason is that they want to do this cross-console thing with this game, which would require the consoles to be more or less similar in the bigger policies.
This is something we're actually seeing with the PS4. It's using a PC architecture. It's using a PC specific processor, which hopefully will mean better PC ports on our end. You can tell.
That's a good thing.
That's
yes.
actually another big thing I wanted to bring up. Did you see how much RAM that thing had? It had 8 gigabytes of RAM. That is a huge step up from 512 megabytes that our previous generation had.
That is actually
That's
I did not
insane.
know about that. That's incredible.
And it's not
Really good.
it's not DDR3 RAM. It's GDDR5, the same thing
Wow.
our high-end graphics cards use.
Wow.
So whereas for instance my card has 4 gigabytes of video memory, this thing has 8 gigabytes of video memory. But that's
Wow.
also shared with RAM. This
Okay.
is RAM and video memory, but
I
still
can really see
that makes it
working,
more
though.
versatile when you think about it.
definitely.
If you're using less RAM, you got a ton of video RAM. If you're using a lot of video RAM, well, you're going to have a little bit
Gives,
less RAM,
it
but you're
gives
going to have
developers
nicer
more
visuals.
versatility. Like, you can have games that are like massive games, open-ended games, and then you can have those games that are all about the graphics, and both would
Yeah.
run equally good.
And they'd work well. That's a big limitation of today's consoles is you use RAM, as you know, for variables and just general random computing, and with them having so little of that, it's caused the world to become very condensed, so you can't have a lot of things being loaded at once.
Definitely, yeah. All right, I think we had a good discussion about the entire PlayStation 4. I really, I like that they actually were trying to be straightforward. I mean, obviously it's a press conference, so they're not going to be, telling
I
us
think they
everything.
revealed as much
Right.
as I'll be honest. I think they revealed as much as they really knew to us because they said they weren't ready to reveal the pricing because they had no idea yet.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I'm really looking forward to the Xbox One. I mean, seeing as I never owned a real PlayStation, not that there was any fake ones, but I'm saying I owned an Xbox 360 and I enjoyed it. I stepped up to the PC Master Race because it's clearly better, but I really would like to see Microsoft having a really similar press conference and announcement where they do the same type of thing, giving the people what they want,
Yeah.
and I would really enjoy that. I'm really looking forward to it. I know there will be a lot of rumors, and I hope they can,
E3 is going to be when they reveal it. I'm almost sure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, E3 is
If
gonna
they don't
be-
announce it this year, if they announce it anytime this year, it's going to be at E3. And if they don't announce it this year, they're going to be majorly behind because the other two companies already are going to have their console out by the time they even
Definitely,
announce it.
definitely.
Yeah, and this market, it's basically he who strikes first strikes hardest.
That's just like we said in the very beginning. If Google Plus would have been first, most people would have been on Google Plus.
And
Exactly.
Facebook would be
Yeah.
like, oh my god, you're on Facebook, you must have low life, you must kill yourself.
Yeah,
thing.
Facebook would be the MySpace of today.
Pretty much.
Pretty
MySpace
much.
would be the Google Plus of today.
MySpace would just be one lonely guy named Tom.
Yeah.
No, it was already that.
It kind of is, but
No, it's named
it would have happened
Jeff.
sooner.
Okay.
All right, so we're pretty much at the end of our show this time. We had a good conversation about the consoles and whatnot. As usual, you can talk about any games that we start playing this week. So if you guys start anything you want to talk about or try a new game, finish the game, let's see.
Well, I haven't done too much recently, but last night I was playing Call of Duty with some buddies of mine in Richardson. Had an awesome time. Should do that more often.
Yeah, I mean the casual gameplay of Call of Duty is easy to pick up. Always, have fun, play games.
Yeah.
All right.
And one thing I want to talk about is, this might sound the stupidest thing ever, but winter is coming, and people who watch TV would know what that means. The trailer for Game of Thrones Season 3 is up, and we hope you'll all catch the world premiere on 31st March.
What about you, Christian? You play any games?
Obviously, the usuals that I play. I played Guild Wars 2 and Skyrim, and I also played Sleeping Dogs,
Oh,
which is
Great minds think alike. That's what the same games have been playing.
yeah,
Whoa.
it's weird.
It is
But
weird, though.
It's a really cool game. It's got a nice. The melee system seems a little bit clunky in it. It could definitely be fixed up a little bit. It's definitely nowhere near like Arkham City or Asylum level, but it's the same basic type of combat. Gunplay is kind of terrible, but you never really use a gun.
Hey, in Sleeping Dogs you can shove people's heads into vending machines.
Exactly. The whole thing isn't really about the guns. It's more about that Hong Kong. It really does, though, do a good job of capturing that Hong Kong action movie feel. I mean, you ramp a car, it goes into slow motion right before you're jumping, right before you land, and it makes the screen, blur, and
Yeah.
they really capture that nice effect.
Well,
of that.
I don't know if it may have been just me, but I had more fun playing the Sleeping Dogs demo than I had playing the actual game. I don't know.
I never did the story in Sleeping Dogs. I just ran around the city doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Antichamber is what I've been playing. I've talked about that a little bit. It's a game heavily about psychology, puzzle solving. Really good. You guys should check that out. I honestly think this developer, I cannot wait to see what else he comes out with. It was a solo man making it I believe he had someone draw pictures for him or something like that. But mostly it was him developing the whole thing. Simple Unity engine game. And it's becoming pretty big. I cannot wait to see. I'm hoping he'll become the next Braid.
All right.
Because I actually enjoy what he's saying. Did you see that? Braid's new game. Or not Braid's new game, but the guy who made Braid, the new game that they're making.
Which one is that?
I can't even remember the name of it, but it's basically you're just running around an open world island solving puzzles.
Interesting.
Something Mitsura or something?
No, it's Wanderer. Wanderer is
okay,
what
I
it's
did not
called.
hear about that. The game I've been playing over the last week, I actually finished a lot of my games, and I've been really looking for a new game. So I reinstalled Alpha Protocol, which I played a lot earlier, when
Yeah.
it first came out. It was a huge flop, and it was on
Yeah.
sale
Oh yeah, it
on
was.
Steam for $2, and I don't know why. The game's amazing. I mean, if you think about it's literally what you want from a game. Your decisions actually matter in this game.
Yeah.
You can customize yourself so much. There's so many challenges. It has a huge replay value. You can literally play it any way you want. Of course, the AI is not the best, and the stealth system is really hard. Like, the smallest mistake will mess up your stealth gameplay, but then again, you can still finish it as a normal soldier. And I understand why some people wouldn't like this game, but I'm really looking forward to playing it more and actually finishing it this time. And if it ever goes on Steam sale again for $2, it's definitely worth $2 or even $5 in that case. So I would definitely recommend that game.
All right. Well, I believe that is it for us
We
today.
have a lot of good topics, and I'm looking forward to next week where we might have some more rumors to talk about consoles and
Yeah, hopefully
the
we'll
Xbox and
probably be information slowly leaking out more and more about the
Definitely. Also, we
PS4.
have Spring Break coming up, which could be a reason for other game developers to release some
Yeah.
more content. So yeah, okay. So that was the BlinkCast episode 4. I think 4. Yeah.
4, yeah. Though I just want to point this out. Are we going to be having a podcast next week?
I will be staying on campus, so I will definitely be here.
I
So
will
will I
be
be.
home.
As will I.
Okay.
So
I think
I'm
next
guessing
week. I
we're
think the next
gonna-
couple of weeks
Alright.
here we may not have a podcast coming out, folks.
Okay, so this will definitely be our last episode before after spring break.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely we'll see you guys after spring break. Party hard, have fun, and see you next time.
All right, BlinkCast out.
BlinkCast out.
See ya. See ya. See ya. See ya.